All right, let's talk about some belts today because it seems to be that the search for the perfect EDC belt is never ending. Now, raise your hand if you're like me and you've got like a bin of belts in a room somewhere, your closet, or they're all just like hanging over something in your closet and you've tried just dozens of them to try and get to the ones that will work. Well, for me, over the past like 20 years, basically from my military to my law enforcement career, I've got to try dozens of different belts, probably more than dozens of belts, from battle belts to EDC belts, every kind of belt in between. And there's really two that I have been focusing on for the past couple of years, one of them, and really the past 6 months on the other one. And these are the ones that I feel are literally just the best EDC belts out there. Now, these are not battle belts, duty belts, things like that. These are for carryable comfort all day, because when it comes to belts and carrying every day for EDC, comfort is king. If you're not comfortable, you're most likely not going to carry. But right behind that, you have to have controllability for that holster or whatever you're carrying. So those two things are like numero uno and numero dos when it comes to an EDC belt. The two belts that we are going over today are going to be very different, both in design, the materials they're made of, the buckle style they use, the ease of adjustment on there. Are they set it and forget it, or are they adjust on the fly? There's a lot of different stuff going on with these two, but these are the two that I keep going back to when I want to carry in comfort all day and still have that stability to carry even a full-size pistol, say I'm wearing a jacket or a sweater. Instead of making you guys wait till the end, I'm just gonna go over my favorite one first. That doesn't mean the second one isn't an awesome belt. It's just this is the one that I think is probably the most comfortable belt out there right now, although it may not be perfect for every circumstance. If you're carrying a big, heavy 2011 maxed out on ammo, this probably isn't the belt for you. You might want something a little bit more stiff. But this one is made by a buddy of mine, and that is the Hunter Constantine carry belt. Now this thing is super slick. Not only the way it adjusts, the material it's made of, but how it actually fits you, and how they've given stability in the belt while giving you like the most maximum comfort you can possibly get out of a belt that you can actually carry something on every day. So Hunter gave me this belt about 6 months ago, and I was kind of in disbelief, and I was like, I don't know, man. He's like, just try it, trust me. So in the past 6 months, I've been wearing this thing literally almost every single day, and I have to say, he was absolutely right. This is the most comfortable carry belt I have ever worn. First, let's tackle why this belt is so comfortable, and that's gonna have to do with the fact that it's made of a fully flexible material that's gonna ride along the sides and the back once you put the belt on. Now, this stuff's very cool because it's extremely stretch and durable. However, it doesn't bunch up like some other materials do that leads to the belt kind of deforming and things like that. Basically, if you bend over, move around, and it bunches up, once you stand up or move, it just goes right back to its natural form, yet still retains all of that flexibility. So as you bend over, move around, bend from side to side, straight forward, whatever, it's gonna flex and allow that holster and everything to flex with you, so you're not getting jabbed in your gut, especially if you're carrying appendix. And then when you stand straight back up, it all just evens right back out. Now, the rest of the belt is made of a nice nylon material with a very stiff center insert. That's going to give you the ability to have that stiff section where you need it, whether you carry in the 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock appendix, wherever it is, you rotate the belt to your body and where you're gonna carry. That way you have the ability to put those hooks on that holster around the belt, and it's gonna be stiff, and it's gonna give you a consistent draw, and it's also going to give you that comfort that you know that holster is gonna be where it's at, while giving you the comfort of the flexibility on the sides and around the back. One of the coolest things about this belt is that it's set it, forget it, and adjustable at the same time. So this uses a G-hook kind of style design. If you'll notice on the harder part of the belt, there are 2 attachment areas for that G-hook. So what you do is you set your tension with that stretch material to the furthest in buckle, right? That furthest in attachment point for your normal waist size. Then when you put your holster and everything on, you use the outermost one, and that gives you that like extra inch, inch and a half, something like that, which is about exactly what you need for, say, something like a Glock 19 or a subcompact pistol once you put it in your belt line. And if you need a little bit of extra tension, you can readjust that shock or bungee material in there. But ultimately, once you get it set to your waist size, you're probably only gonna have to use those 2 loops in there that are set up on the belt, unless you gain or lose a pretty substantial amount of weight. Hands down, the most comfortable EDC belt I have ever worn. You kind of think that somebody would have thought of this before, not only having like half flexible, half stiff material, but also that kind of like G-hook design to where it's like set it and forget it. If you're without a holster, use the inner hook. If you're with a holster, use the outer hook, and you're just pretty much good to go. So good stuff there. It's made in America, which is actually pretty awesome because a lot of stuff out there isn't these days. And I want to say that all these materials that they're using are very compliant. So basically what that means is they're all kind of sourced in the US too. Not 100% on that, but I thought that's what he said. So that's extra cool because you know that's all going towards American jobs. And then if you are interested in the Hunter Constantine belt, he was actually cool enough to issue a code to the audience out there so you can get yourself the most comfortable belt out there. I do believe him now, and that is going to be TC5 for 5% off. When it comes to EDC or anything else out there you might need, think Brownells. They've been a huge supporter of the channel here. They make sure that I'm able to keep the channel up and running, my website up and running, which is where all the build and parts lists are, which is where the list for this video and the links for the belt and everything will be housed. So without their support, I really couldn't keep things rolling around here. And they're just an awesome company out there that does a lot of really cool stuff. So if you're in the market for anything, think Brownells. Any guesses in the comments for what belt is going to be next? Is it going to be one of those ratchet belts? Is it going to be some standard buckle style belt? Or how about the old, faithful, tried and true Blue Alpha hybrid Cobra buckle belt? Now, I've had two of these, right? I got two of these like several years ago when I first started the channel, the black one and the gray one. I still have both. And I wear them all the time, specifically when I'm carrying something a little heavier, like a full-size 1911, 2011, something like that, or I've got multiple things on my waistline, but I'm still carrying concealed. This is the belt I turn to for that because it gives me the comfort and the rigidity that I need when I'm carrying a heavier item or heavier items inside the waistband. The best part about these belts is the material that goes into them. They are all US made. They've got that hybrid Cobra buckle so you can get them through your standard pant loops. And of course, those buckles are insanely strong. And the material is webbed nylon here. This stuff is gonna outlast us and our children, right? This belt is not going anywhere. It is literally a lifetime style purchase. It is super easy to adjust with that Velcro long end there, that tag end. If you need a little bit more room one day because you had that extra large chimichanga meal or you're carrying something a little larger, easy. Just pull the tag end off that Velcro there, allow that buckle to slide a little bit and gives you a little more room. We need to tighten up a little bit, say you're carrying something extra small or just carrying maybe a blade that day, same thing. Pull the tag end off the Velcro, pull it inward, and it's gonna tighten up for you. So very quick adjusting, very easy to use. They've got several colors on this, all US made. Awesome, awesome company here. These guys are just absolutely great people. Love the Second Amendment. I love what they're doing with everything out there. I want to say this thing still comes in right around 80 bucks, which for a US made product at this level with those Austria Alpine Cobra buckles is an absolutely solid price. Now that Blue Alpha belt is going to have a different feel to it when you're wearing it because it's that double thick nylon all the way around. It's stiff all the way around, but when it comes to the heavier items, you're going to want something like that. When it comes to that ultimate EDC comfort, when you're carrying like a full-size compact, like a Glock 17, something like that, that is where the Hunter Constantine belt is going to come in. Now, I know somebody's going to ask like, well, if you had to choose one, which are you going to choose? And the answer to that is both, because I need sometimes a more rigid belt, but most of the time I'm carrying something where I want maximum comfort and I still want that like rigid, consistent ability to draw my pistol. So that's why I mostly wear the Hunter Constantine belt these days. But at the same time, when I'm carrying more stuff, I turn to that Blue Alpha because that thing's just bulletproof and it's been around for years and it's not going anywhere. It's just an absolutely solid belt. I know there's a metric buttload of other belts out there in the market. There's Core, there's Next Belt, there's all kinds of stuff all over Amazon. I have worn most of those kind of more well-known belts out there. And again, these are just the ones that come to my mind when I'm thinking carryability, comfort, all that good stuff. But what is your favorite belt and why is it your favorite belt? And how do you think it compares to the Blue Alpha Cobra and to the Hunter Constantine Ultimate Carry Belt? I would love to know your opinion because a lot of the best ideas here on the channel actually come from you guys asking about different pieces of kit and gear. Make sure you get subscribed to the channel. Remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And I will see you all on the next one.